Hello, everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for today, where, yes, we're going to talk about how you can still get grants even in this crazy grant environment. Yes, as whether you are a woman-owned business or maybe you're a woman-led nonprofit or maybe you serve women. Yes, there are grants available. So come on in. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host, and I am in Ohio. I'm in Ohio, where, okay, oh, it's just about 8 degrees here. So, let me know where you're coming in from and let me know whether or not it is like frosty where you are because it is very cold here. Okay, very, very cold. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're coming in from and let me know the temperature. It is frosty here. It is frosty, frosty, frosty here. But we're in Ohio, so that's what happens. That is what happens. Oh, Baltimore. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I know Baltimore is cold right now, too. Baltimore's cold. Hello, Kiara. Hello, Kiara. So let me know where you're coming in from. I see you coming in, so let me know where you're coming in from. And by the way, thank you all for hopping on, especially those of you who had signed up for previous grant writing sessions. I was sick and was not able to provide those. And so thank you for all of you for hopping on, but also those of you who had signed up for earlier sessions. So I'm so glad you got in before the end of the year. So glad you got in before the end of the year. All right, all right, all right. So we're going to just wait a couple more minutes to let people in. Everything's being recorded, just so you know. You will get the recording. So come on in, come on in. We're going to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. There we go. So you should be able to see my screen now, everyone. All right, so this is grant writing for men-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. This is my noon session. I also have the last session of the year is at 7 o'clock tonight. So if you know anybody that wants to hop on, tonight is the last session for the year because I need for you to be ready to get these grants in January, at the beginning of January. So let me introduce myself. Yes, they call me the Grants Queen. I have been in this industry for 17 years now. And yes, I have secured it's over $18 million now worth of grants and funding for my clients. My undergrad degree and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. And I provide grant writing workshops all over the country. Yes, through webinars, but also I teach grant writing now for a number of organizations, some small, some larger, you might have heard of, like the Urban League, like Goldman Sachs, like the National Association of Women Business Owners, all across the country. And I'm a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program as well. Now, I own a business, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I want to know who's here with me in the chat. Let me know, are you a nonprofit or are you a small business? So let me know in the chat, small business or nonprofit. Or maybe you're both. Now, you could have both. Maybe you are a small business that started a nonprofit or vice versa. Okay, we got a nonprofit. Let me know who else is with us. All right, all right. We got a nonprofit, which is excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm going to move that over to the side. Nope, want to move that to the side. There we go. Close the webinar chat. All right, so you're in the right place. Whether you are a nonprofit or a small business, this webinar is for you because there are grants for both. We're going to talk about grants for both. All right. Now, let me just say a couple of words about how I got here because I didn't always used to be the grants queen. I was a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. And then I was traveling all over the world, great job. And then the bottom fell out. Life started lifing and I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I went from traveling the world to moving in with my sister in Cleveland. I had to be seen by the Cleveland Clinic because, they're one of the top hospitals in the world. Plus, that's my hometown. So I moved back home to Cleveland, had to start all over again. So I know where many of you are. Like you started from nothing, you started from scratch. I know how that is because I did it. When I moved back home to Cleveland, it took me 2 years to recuperate. And after those 2 years, I couldn't find a job. And that is when I decided to start Lapov Consulting. And I started it. And one of my first positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. And I was there maybe 2 weeks when I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would pay for my job. People, I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants, and you're asking me to write a grant to save my job that would pay for my salary. So, yes, there was fear, like the fear some of you have about writing grants. But you know what? I did it because it was going to save my job and save the organization. So I went beyond my fear. I did research and I wrote that grant and I won that grant and it paid for my job for the year. And then grant writing became my most sought after service. And I went from winning little $500 grants to $500,000 grants. So I know this is possible. And guess what? I had no experience. So when I tell you you can do this, you can write and win grants with no experience, you can. Because that's exactly what I did. I'm going to show you how in this webinar. All right. But I want you to think about what you can do with grant money because I know a lot of you are tired of using your own money, right? You're tired of going into that pocketbook and spending your own coins, right? To try to keep that business afloat or the nonprofit afloat. You can use grant money to help you because you don't pay it back. Keep that in mind. You don't pay grant money back. All right. Now we'll cover what the current landscape is. I'll give you some grant basics. We'll talk about how do you prepare to apply, but we'll also talk about what you write in the application and how you write it. And then how you go about attracting the organizations that really want to give you funding, even in this environment, right? Because there are grants. If you take away nothing more today, take away the fact that there are billions of dollars in grants available every single day. Then I'll show you how to conduct the grant research so that you are finding the organizations that have grants that align to your nonprofit or small business. And then Q&A. Don't be shy. Drop your questions in either the chat, the webinar chat, or the Q&A box because I'm going to answer all of them at the end. All right. And yes, I'm here to help you. So you're going to get a recording and I'm not charging you for the recording because I want you to be able to use this information. But also I want you to share it. Share it with other women-owned businesses, other women-led nonprofits, right? We're in this together. So when you get the replay, share it with another organization, but you'll get it. You'll have it today. You'll have it for free. All right. All right. So why are we here? We are here because we as women, entrepreneurs and leaders of nonprofits, we need access to funding, and it shouldn't always be about loans, right? I'm a little tired of always hearing about loans because I want you to have access to money that you don't pay back. And that's what grant money is. And the fear, you've got to overcome the fear of writing because grant writing is not what it used to be. You're not writing these 100, 200-page documents. No. Now grant applications are 2 and 3 pages, many of them, because the foundations, they don't have the staff any longer or the personnel, excuse me, to just review like 200-page documents. So a lot of the applications, 2, 3, 4 pages. So you can do this, but know that there's a process. That's what I've learned after having secured over $18 million. And I'm going to show you what the process is. All right. Now, the first thing I need for you to understand is that grants are not gone. We know that the federal grants were cut, but guess what? Look what we have here: private grants, community grants, family foundations, corporate foundations. Those are the grants that are still being given out every single day. Well, this is why I want you to be encouraged because the money is available. They're just not coming from federal resources. And think about how you diversify your funding. Don't always put all those expensive eggs in one basket. So, in addition to finding grants, look for sponsorships, look for corporate contracts, look for individual donations. But be encouraged because grants are available. And guess what? There's opportunities right now for you because there are fewer people applying for these grants because you got a lot of people thinking there are no grants available. So they just gave up. But people like you who are smart enough to learn and understand grants are still available, I want you to go after this grant money. And guess what's happening? Your local community foundations and your corporate foundations and your family foundations, they are increasing their grant money. They're trying to fill in the gaps caused by the federal government. So guess what? You've got more grants now that's being given, and then larger dollar grants. So whereas maybe a community foundation was giving $10,000 grants, they may be giving $20,000 grants. So once again, be encouraged. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? We know that that includes women, minorities, the disabled, veterans. This is what's happening. I know that the federal government has cut out federal DEI funding, but be encouraged because there are many, many foundations that are not heeding right to those directives. There are many. I literally just saw several yesterday. They're still giving to these areas because guess what? This is who they serve. They serve women, they serve minorities, they serve veterans, they serve the disabled. But there are some organizations that said, look, we don't want to get the White House mad at us. So we're going to tweak our language. We're still going to give to minorities and women and veterans and the disabled. We're going to tweak that language. So we're not going to say Black or women any longer. We're going to use other terms to describe the conditions that we often see organizations trying to address when they're trying to help women, when they're trying to help minorities. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to tweak the language. This is for those of you who serve these communities. You don't stop serving the communities, you tweak your language. But again, you've got some of the old foundations like Ford and Kellogg. They still are giving to DEI. But you have others like Google, Apple, Delta, Costco. They're tweaking the language. So this is what I want you to do. For example, let's say you have a program where you offer youth development opportunities for Black boys. You don't stop serving Black boys, you tweak your language. So instead of saying, we serve Black boys in our youth development opportunity program, you're going to say we provide youth development for what? Historically underserved and underrepresented boys. You replace the racial term, right? The ethnicity with underserved and underrepresented. These are some of the buzzwords that you're going to be looking for to know that those grants are for you. Or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities. This is very, very, very important for you to get. Same with women. Let's say you have a program where you provide employment and career coaching for women. Those were some of the old words that you're using now. For example, you can say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement. We know that means women. You see how you tweak the language, you take out women, but you put in the condition or the issue that your program is solving. This is very important for you to get because this is how you're still going to get that DEI funding, even though you're going to tweak the language. This is how you still approach foundations with what you are providing in terms of your service or your program. So, yes, keep your original language, but be prepared to tweak those words Now, this is important for you to get. So give me a yes if you understand exactly what I'm saying. In the grant world, we call it quiet DEI because this is how you're still going to get funding. So give me a yes in the chat if you understand what I am saying. This is very important for you to get. Be prepared to tweak your language in order to still get grant money. All right, I see a yes. Hopefully you all get it. All right. Now let's go back to grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back. For those of you who have your nonprofits, make sure you have your 501c3. That is your tax exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. You're going to need it to apply for grants. All right. Now, I want everybody to look at this slide. This is the amount of foundation, corporation, and bequest giving. And we just got a couple of months ago, the 2024 numbers, 200 billion. This is the amount of money that's being given out every day. And guess what? You don't see federal funding anywhere on this slide. This is the money that's being given out every day. So you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do to get it? Because this does not include federal funding. This is in addition to federal money. This is what foundations and nonprofits are getting or are giving. So again, be encouraged. All right. Now, I need for you to be grant ready though. Too many organizations, they look at an application, they download it, and they're not even ready to apply for it. I need for you to be grant ready. Make sure you're looking into the chat too, because we're going to be dropping some important links in the chat. Include or download some type of editing tool for your computer because I don't want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. I love Grammarly. It is free. There's a $20 version that I get, but the free version is great. It is a software editing tool. You download it onto your computer, and it will literally self-correct for you. So as you're writing your grant application, it will self-correct your grammar for you, free. You download it, you use it, it is phenomenal. So I highly recommend Grammarly. And courtesy of Grammarly, we have improved writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. So let me know if you're using Grammarly in the chat. It is phenomenal and it is free. The next thing I want you to do is get those documents in order. I'm getting you grant ready. Make sure you have your employer identification number. Nonprofits, you need your 501c3. If you are a small business, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have your articles of incorporation? Do you have a list of your board members ready? Do you have letters of support? I heard from a student last night and she was so excited because the mayor of her city was going to give her a letter of support. Get letters from people who know you, people who support you. Could be your vendors, could be community leaders, it could be your pastor. Make sure you have an operating budget. Even if you are new, you've got to know approximately how much money it's going to take for you to function over the course of a year. Plus, that operating budget will give you an idea of how much grant money you should be asking for. These are ways you become grant ready before you even think about applying for grants. You've got to get this information in order. And look, you can get a template for an operating budget from the internet for free. Now, let's say you're currently operating. Yes, you need your financial documents, your balance sheet, and your profit and loss statement. Absolutely. Profit and loss is another term for income. Now, I'm going to get into the application now and show you best practices as to how you write to showcase your organization above others. You must have a mission statement. Even if you are a small business, you must have a mission statement. Your mission defines who are you serving? What are you doing now? What are your aims and your goals? But the mission is much more than that. Because your mission can align you to the organization that wants to give you funding. Because guess what? If you are a bakery and you make cakes all day, why are you submitting grant applications to foundations that only give money to organizations that build motorcycles? No, there's a disconnect there. Make absolutely sure that when you submit that application, that foundation is giving money in the area that you are serving. So you want to make sure it's the right funder because 87% of grants are rejected because you didn't send it to the right organization. They don't fund you. So in order to find out where they fund you, go to their websites. You read the grant application and make sure that's your area, or else you're going to be wasting a lot of time and effort. Now, when you are ready to complete this section of the grant application, this is how foundations are giving grant money. How you answer these questions. When you are describing your organization, you must talk about not just impact, but impact and transformation. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have an after-school program. It's great that you can say, I serve 150 students every semester. Wonderful. But that's not enough. Okay, you serve 150 students. What's happening with those students? What is the impact? What is the transformation? Can you say, okay, 80% of those students improve their test scores because of our program? Or can you talk about how many of those students gain confidence because they did so well during that after school program? How many of those kids went on to graduate from high school on time to be able to increase their chances of either going to college or taking a trade or going to the military? That's where the transformation happens, not just in a number of students that you serve, but what's happening with those students. This is how you put yourself in the best possible position to get grant money. And so those of you that have not opened, let's say you're a startup, I want you to still write about what you expect your impact will be. So how many students do you expect to serve? How many students do you expect to improve their test scores? How many students do you expect to gain confidence? So you can write in the application, excuse me, what your expectations are in terms of what impact you expect to have. Impact is a huge word, and it's getting a lot of organizations grant money. All right. But at the end of the day, you've got to make a decision when you approach a foundation. Are you asking for grant money that's for your operations? Or are you asking for grant money for a particular program or service or project? Now, if at all possible, get your operating grant money because guess what? When you get operating grant money, you decide where to put the grant money. It can go towards your lease, IT, salaries, your contractors, your website. But only 32% of foundations give general operating support. Most grants go to a particular program or project or service, which is fine too. Let's say you open up a restaurant and you want to start a delivery service. That could be a project. So don't let that keep you from applying for grants just because it has to be based around a program or a project. But whatever you do, you must apply to multiple foundations. I want you to tell me why in the chat. Why do you think it is important that you always apply to more than one foundation for grant funding? Why do you think that's important that you've got to apply to multiple foundations? Let me know in the chat. Because at the end of the day, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You should always be applying for different grants from different organizations. And yes, I get this question all the time. Linda, can you apply to more than one grant? You better be applying to more than one grant because guess what? Grants are not guaranteed. Don't let yourself get scammed. I see these horror stories on Facebook all the time. People getting scammed. Somebody told them they could guarantee them some grant money and they paid them XY dollars and the person disappeared. 99.9% of those situations are scammers. Rarely, like 1% or less of the time, are you going to come across a grant that's guaranteed. It basically doesn't exist. Now, tell me why you think you have to apply to multiple foundations. Let me know. You're awfully quiet. Let me know in the chat. Why do you think you should be applying to multiple foundations? Why do you think that is? Or do you think you apply to one foundation and that's it? You apply to one foundation. That's right, Kara. The more you apply, the more possibilities, right? Grants aren't guaranteed. You've got to place multiple applications at the same time. Yes, absolutely at the same time. It's okay to get money from more than one foundation, even for the same area. Let's say you're asking for money to hire contractors. If you get multiple grants, hire multiple contractors, right? But grants aren't guaranteed, so you've got to keep applying. When I tell you right now, it is so important that you be in a community of support. Like, don't try to do this out on your own. Don't try to write and get these grants out on your own. This was one of my students, Hezabah. She was actually on one of my trainings last night. Sisters Against Domestic Violence. She got a $10,000 grant. This is in the midst of people thinking there's no grant money, right? She's saying all praise to the Most High. Linda Peavy's course really works, y'all. She's in my grant writing course. Grants are available every day. You've got to place yourself in a position to win. Let me talk to you about community partners. This question is going to be on the grant application. You need to be able to answer it. Partnerships are so important to you, especially if you're tiny, if you're small. You need help. And many of these partners are really embedded in the community. They're well established. So they really do know where the money is. So it will help you to connect and collaborate with them. It could be anything from the Urban League, HBCUs, the Y, Boys and Girls Club, women's organizations, right? Women's colleges, regular universities. This becomes important. Let me give you an example. Let's say a person has a program where they're helping the previously incarcerated, right? They're helping the previously incarcerated. And they want to make sure that once these people are released into the community, that they have a great chance at success. I want you to tell me who you think she should be partnering with. Now, she has to interview them while they're currently incarcerated. She has to interview them, right? Just to make sure they qualify for her program. Who should she be meeting with? What about the warden or the police so that they know she has a program that they can recommend? Plus, she has to get access to the people who are currently jailed. Now, when they are released, you want them to have a home, right? What about organizations that provide housing? You don't want them to be homeless. That's another partner. Do you want them to have some type of a skill set so that they can get a job and not go back to jail? What about workforce development organizations? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Who should she be meeting with? What if they have addictions? What about social service agencies? So this is really not hard once you think about who you should be meeting with to forward your program. And so this is your homework, all of you. I want you to name 5 organizations that you're going to partner with. 5. That's your homework based on your organization. So homework, name 5, and then reach out to them. Let them know that you're either starting an organization or you've started, and see how they can help you move forward. Now let's talk about the grant budget. Where are you spending the money? Make sure you itemize your expenses. This is important. So let's say you want a $50,000 grant to hire an executive director. You can't just write, I need 50 grand for an ED. If it's a contracted position, how many hours will the person work? What is your rate? What are you paying them per hour? Be specific when you write out your expenses. And then in the budget narrative, which I always include, even if it doesn't ask for one, because I want that foundation to know that I know I need to connect the money that I'm asking for back to my mission and the mission of the foundation. So that's a clue for you. When you're writing about your budget narrative, align the money that you're spending. Show how it upholds your mission and the mission of the foundation that you're getting the money from. This becomes super important. Itemize those expenses because the foundation wants to know where you're going to be spending their money. And does it really align with your mission? Now, a lot of you might be saying, this is great, Linda, but I don't have time to write these grants. I want you to keep in mind what I said earlier. A lot of these grant applications are 3, 4, 5 pages. That's it. Some are less than that. And ask yourself, what do you really have time for? Right? And if you're thinking like, I don't have time for this. And by the way, AI, oh my gosh, we'll talk about AI in a minute, will give you your time back because it can cut 80% off of your writing time. But think about this. Ask yourself, I'm going to ask you a question and I would like an answer in the chat because you're being very quiet. Give me an answer in the chat. Do you have time to get free money? For those of you who are thinking, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I have time to write these grants. This is free money, people. Do you have time to get free money? This is money you don't pay back for your organization, for your mission, to support this dream some of you have had for a long time. So Rosetta says, I always got time for free money, right? That's what I'm talking about. Do you have time to get free money? Well, think about this. You're going to have to build some relationships because what I want you to do, and this is literally the number one funding move almost nobody makes. This is the number one funding move that I have seen over 17 years. Will move you closer to getting this grant than just about anything else you do. You may not even need the strongest application, but did you meet with the foundation? After having trained over 30,000, I have trained over 30,000 people in organizations. I've noticed this one undeniable pattern. Organizations that meet with foundations win more grants. You've got to meet with the foundation. They want to meet with you, right? That's the biggest grant meeting secret of all. They want to meet with you. They want to get to know you. Don't be afraid. This is your opportunity to really talk about your program to somebody that holds the purse strings. And so you're going to just send an email to the foundation leader and set up this meeting. This is about relationship building. And guess what? They want to meet with you. So don't be afraid. They want to meet with you. So you're going to send this email. In the email, you're describing your organization and you're talking about how what you do aligns with their purpose and their mission so that they know, oh, this is an organization that we can set up a meeting with and discuss how we can partner because they're literally providing programs for K through 3 and we provide grants for programs that serve K through 3. There's a match there. Let's meet with this person. But whatever you do in the email, you're setting up a meeting. You're not asking for money. Never ask for dollars in the email. That'll get you a rejection letter really quick. Ask for the meeting. Now let's go to the grant research. These are portals that are set up specifically to get you information about grants. Look, Google is fine, right? But you need to go to a portal that is set up specifically to help you find grant money. The Foundation Directory Online, they're the leading source on funders. So they provide the organizations that provide grants. You put in information about your organization, you get a list. Grants.gov, believe it or not, there's still some grants there. If I have any churches or faith-based organizations, the Lilly Foundation, Grant Watch, they have, I like them because they not only give you a list of grants, they do a synopsis of the grant. They give you the contact information. They're $20 a week or $200 for the year. Grant Station is $200 for the year. They have great training. You can find grants there for small businesses and nonprofits. The same with Grant Watch. Foundation Directory Online is mainly geared towards nonprofits, but nonprofits and small businesses, grants.gov, yes. Grant Watch, Grant Station, the Lilly Foundation is mainly that's geared towards churches. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, I love them. They have a weekly grant lesson free training, free to sign up. Now, if you are any type of a creator or in the creative industry, maybe it's arts and culture, maybe you're a poet, maybe you're a writer, maybe you're an author, maybe you're a musician, maybe you are an artist. Grants for Creators is your site. It's $97 for the whole year. You get to search for grants. The grant portal is the largest grant catalog on the internet. It's $197 for the whole year. You get to search the whole year for grants. Instrumental is pretty pricey. It's $200 a month. If you can afford it, great, but you don't have to spend that kind of money to get a list of grants. All right. Now, I have a little bit of grant research for you. We got small businesses, helloalice.com. Let me talk to you about Amber Grants for Women because they're one of the few organizations, they only provide grants to small businesses. They're one of the few organizations I know that will give you money based on your idea. You don't need to have earned a penny. Amber Grants for Women, $30,000 a month, divided into three categories. One, just very generic, 10,000. Two, just for startups. The second 10,000 is geared towards startups. The third $10,000, right, is geared towards an industry. And the industry for December is fashion and interior design. So if you know any fashion designers, please let them know about the Amber Grants for Women. It's closing December 31st, $10,000. All right, I won't go through all of these. Let's go to Amarillo. You know where it says small or all volunteer nonprofits? You might be thinking, Linda, this is not for me. I'm just too small. It's just me. No, no. There are some organizations like Amarillo, all they do is give us teeny tiny small nonprofits. So, yes, you can be small. Yes, you can be all volunteer. You might be thinking, Linda, I don't have any staff. I don't even pay myself. You can be an all volunteer nonprofit and still get grant funding. And then don't sleep on banks. Don't sleep on banks. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, Truist, Citizens, they all have grant money. Some for nonprofits, some, yes, for small businesses. Truist, Citizens, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, they have a grant program for small businesses. So don't write off grants. They give much more than just loan money. Yes, they give grant money. All right. So again, be encouraged. Let's talk about artificial intelligence. Let me see if you're using it. Let me know in the chat if you're using it. Never use it as a replacement for grant writing. You've got to use it as a tool. It will be a helpmate to you. But you've got to be able to write about your organization and feed that information into AI. So that means knowing how to write about your mission and your vision and your infrastructure and your target population and your programming or your services. And then once you're able to write about it, you feed it into AI and it will perfect the information, will perfect the narrative. But there's no getting around you being able to write first. But AI is great. I'm going to do a live demonstration in a second with AI. Remember, I said 87% of grants get rejected due to wrong funders? AI will fix that for you, right? These are three common funder alignment mistakes and how AI can fix them. Don't chase every grant that's out there. Make sure that you are aligned to where that foundation is giving in their mission statement. So AI can analyze your information. Let's say you feed it your mission statement, feed it in a paragraph about you, and then feed it the URL of the grant application that you're looking to submit. It will do an analysis and tell you whether or not it's the right grant. It's amazing. Another mistake is ignoring funder language. Maybe the grant was for nonprofits and you are a small business. You can upload that grant application into AI. It will scan it and tell you whether or not you meet the qualifications, right? Let's go back. Let me move this out of the way. And then misreading eligibility criteria. I always recommend that you read the grant criteria 3 times. Make sure that this is for you. And always look at what they don't fund because a lot of people want grant money for scholarships. And most organizations that I've seen will not give you a grant money to give it away in a scholarship. Find out beforehand. So instead of you asking for money for a scholarship, ask for money for your operations. So don't go in there already rejecting yourself. But AI can help with all of this. It's really amazing. When I say you can write 5 times faster and cut 80% off your research time, yes, let's talk about research. You want to be able to do research when you are talking about your organization and why it's needed. This is called developing your needs statement. So instead of you doing all this research for hours, 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 you've got 10 tabs open, right? How many of you right now, we've got 10 tabs open, right? AI can cut this research time by 80%. Yes, yes, right. Shakira, you got 10. I'm almost there. I'm almost there with the number of tabs open. Okay, I'm not too far behind you. No, we don't want this. We want to see how AI can give us our information in seconds, not hours, seconds. So let's see how AI can fix this. I'm going to give you a live demonstration, excuse me, of AI. Now, we're going to see how AI can give you a list of funders. And then we're going to find out how AI can give you information to support the existence of your program. This is our example, Detroit Learning Lift. It's a nonprofit that provides free after-school tutoring and reading and math for underserved Detroit students in grades 3 through 5. Every year, they help 150 students from low-income households and under-resourced schools, and they're doing well. Over 80% of participating students improve at least one proficiency level, and 67% of third graders meet or exceed Michigan's reading benchmark. Their mission is to close the early learning gaps and ensure every child has the foundation to thrive academically. This is not a bunch of information, right? This is one paragraph. Think about how you can write one paragraph. Now, I'm going to ask AI to find a list of funders, but also give me data and stats that will support why my organization even exists. Is there really a need in Detroit for after school programs? So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to open up my chat GPT, which is here. I've already input this information. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see me do this live. So I placed that paragraph. This is my chat GPT. I have 5.2 because I pay the $20 a month for it. Don't worry, you can get the free version. It's remarkable. All right, it will do the same work. So I'm asking it really simple. When you ask questions to chat GPT, you're providing prompts. So prompts are your questions to instruct it. So my prompt is create a list of foundations and funders for my organization, Detroit Learning Lift. Pretty easy, right? Nothing complicated about that. I need a list of foundations and funders for my organization. I just put in this sentence that I just read to you, just giving it a little bit of information about the organization. I'm going to click here and let's see how long it takes for them to give me a list of foundations and funders for this organization, where I just gave it one simple paragraph, right? Talking about what we do, who we serve, where we're located, are we a nonprofit or a small business? It's thinking, right? So it's going to ask you, do you want to answer like right now? Or do you want to just give me a little bit of time to think about this? So we're going to give it a few more seconds to think about coming up with this list of foundations or funders for this organization. All right, so it's literally showing you what it's doing, that it's going through searching all these websites to get you the right information, the correct information. And what's so great about ChatGPT, it's going to give you information that's pretty recent, like right up to like 2024 and sometimes 2025, right? So 51 seconds, it took 51 seconds. And this is what it's giving. Okay, it started with the highest fit. I didn't even ask it to do that. It started with Detroit First, the local organizations, the Skillman Foundation. It's telling you why is there a fit, right? The Kresge Foundation, the Hudson Weber Foundation, the McGregor Foundation, the Community Foundation for Southeast Michigan, the Children's Foundation, the Balmer Group. Now it's going a little bit beyond Detroit to Michigan, Co-America Charitable Foundation, DTE Foundation. And this is a tip for all of you. That's Detroit. I think that's one of their energy companies. Please check out your utility companies, people, because typically they have large foundations. The Ford Foundation, the General Motors Corporate Giving. Now you never stay local. always search for national grants. It went national for me. Dollar General Literacy Foundation. And let me say to all of you, I've been in this industry 17 years. This is one of the best foundations that gives grants in the area of reading and literacy, hands down. Excuse me. Kellogg. I won't go through them all, but do you see what was that? A less than a minute. How long would it have taken you? How long would it have taken you? Now, I'm going to ask it because I'm writing a grant. I'm doing this live. I am writing a grant. I need stats and data that will prove that will prove the need of my organization. Show that there is a need for the impact that Detroit Learning Lift, this is pretty simple, will offer. So in other words, I'm saying I need for you to give me some data and stats so that I can show the foundations. Look, there is a need for my organization. I'm not just here because I don't have anything better to do. There is a need going on in the Detroit community for these kids to have after school programs. Really simple. I'm writing a grant. I need stats and data that will prove the need of my organization. Pretty simple. I click the button. It's thinking. Let's see what it's going to do. Let's give it a few seconds. Now you can always hit answer now, but just give it a few seconds, right? So that it can really come up with the best data for you and really think about how long it would take you to come up with this data that it's going to come up with. Like, how long would it take you to be able to do this? I mean, you can see all of the different websites that it's going through to really get you all of the data that you need. And this is taking seconds. I don't think we're even at a minute yet. So searching the web is searching all of these different sites and think about how many tabs you would need open in order for it to really come up with the data that it's going to give to you. All right, so it's gathering the data. So here we go. 52 seconds. Look what it's giving you. It took data from the 2024 National Report Card. Detroit fourth grade reading was extremely low. Only 5% of Detroit fourth graders performed at or above this proficiency level. 5%, people. That is heartbreaking, right? Detroit students are also far behind in math. Only 7% of Detroit fourth graders performed at or above the nation's report card, the proficiency level. The Michigan's third grade reading proficiency is low statewide, and Detroit is even lower. You see how it's literally writing this grant for you. I want you to tell me how long it would have taken you to come up with all of this data. Attendance barriers, this is even talking about the attendance barriers are huge, which affects learning time. Absenteeism, 66%. Now we're going to the poverty level. 31.5% of Detroit residents are living in poverty. All reasons why this after school program is needed. It actually wrote the need statement for me. I didn't ask it to do this. It wrote it for me. All right, let me stop sharing. I want you to tell me how long it would have taken you. I want you to tell me how long it would have taken you to come up with this data. It took, what was it, 52 seconds? 52 seconds, right? Kara says days. Rosetta says, would have taken her months to come up with this information, right? Shakira, like at least 30 days. It was less than a minute, people. It was less than a minute. When I tell you, I am begging people not to be afraid of AI. This is what it can do. Do you know how much time it's going to save you? And once you get this data right, you don't need it again. This is data that you're going to put in every single grant application. All you're going to do is update it, right? You'll update it maybe after the next year, but you've got the data now. You've got it. It's amazing, right? I'm going to switch back to the PowerPoint here. Let me share my screen one more time. There we go. All right. Let's go back to where we were before. So now you see what AI can do for you. Use it as a tool, not a replacement. You see how I at least had to come up with information about Detroit Learning Lift. Imagine this, these are 5 power moves you can use with AI to write 5 times faster, cut 80% off of your research time. That was more than 80%, people. It wrote the need statement for me, wrote it for me. It can write your budget. It will create a budget for you, right? Let's say you don't know how much money to ask for and you want to start with $10,000. Put that into AI. It will create a budget for you, but you got to feed it information about your organization. Let's say your grant application calls for 500 words. You wrote 750. Ask AI to cut it down to 500. It's brilliant at doing that. So let's talk about how you can turn either your next foundation meeting or your next grant application into funding. I have opportunities for you to work directly with me. Now you can hire a grant writer. You have the opportunity to do that. Expect to spend at least $5,000 for a professional grant writer. I don't want you to work without a framework. I have created a proven framework because if you don't work within a framework, you're going to be spending 20 hours or more per grant. There is no reason why you need to do that. If you don't have a strategy, you're going to get constant rejections. One of my students came to me. She said, Linda, I've had over 100 rejections. I'm thinking, I know I can help you because let me look at one and I'll tell you what you did wrong. Let me look at your application and I'll tell you what you did wrong. And she's a student now, working her way towards getting grants. You don't want to have to start all over for every single grant application. Nobody has time for that anymore. And then come within a community. If you are going to be seeking grants, I ask you, don't try to do it on your own. Come within a community where you can get the help. There's a lot of misinformation out there. I want you to be able to get your questions answered, like no scamming. Oh my gosh, scammers come out of the woodwork when it comes to free grant money, people. Save yourself some hours of headaches, some hours of unnecessary writing. You see how fast that was. Save yourself these unnecessary rejections and numerous rejections. Because I can tell you, and I will show you that the students that are working with me right now are getting 5-figure grants and 6-figure grants because they know what to do. They know what not to do because they're in a community that cares for them. I have 2 different programs. One is do it yourself, and we still give you support. So I created a grant writing course that will teach you how to write every part of a grant application so that you have the information to either apply for a grant or to put in AI so that they can give you better answers, right? But if you want to know how to write every aspect, how do you talk about your impact? How do you tell your story? There are lessons in this course that will teach you how to tell the story of your organization. How do you talk about who you serve? Whether it's a nonprofit or, like I said, you could be opening up a restaurant. Maybe you have your grandmother's recipes and you want to get them out. We will teach you how to write every part of the grant application. If you're going to use the grant portals like Grant Watch, Grant Station, there's a course, there's literally lessons that will teach you how to do that. There's built-in discussion starters for every question. At the end of this course, you will have a grant template. That's what you will have. A full grant template that you're going to use to apply for grants. Now, you can always use the information from the grant template to place it into AI. You can do that because I have an AI course as well, which I'll talk about in a second. But this will give you that grant template that you will use. And yes, you get coaching. I serve as your coach. I offer free monthly live coaching sessions. I had one last night. You don't want to miss those. They're live, they're free so that you can ask me any question you have. But we also have a phenomenal Facebook group, 24/7 Facebook group. I've got over 22,200 students, over 2,200 students just in the Facebook group. And they're there constantly helping each other. It's all collaborative. There's no competition here. So this is what you get with my original. This is the course that started it all. This is a course that I've gotten just this year alone, well over $1 million for students. Just this year. It's 12 modules, 30 videos. You get examples of actual grants that won money. You get the hour of group coaching every month. You get the private Facebook group, and I'm giving you a starter list of over 600 organizations. It's been audited. It's a $5,000 course on par with any of your college courses, but it's easier and it's a lot more fun. I keep it 90% off to help you. This is what I do. Is normally $497 right now because I know it's holiday time. It's the end of the year, but I want you to be ready in January. It's discounted to $297. It'll be that way for the next 5 days. You're saving $200, or you can pay two payments of $175. Yes, it includes the full course, the Facebook group coaching. It's even tax deductible, people. Write it off. And yes, you get a certificate of completion. Now, I showed you what AI can do. It took me 2 years to create this AI powered Grants Accelerator course. It's brand new. It's worth $3,000. The regular price is $497. It goes to $497 at the end of this special. This is not a guide. This is not some YouTube videos. This is a full course that's going to show you how to it will just blow your mind. You think what you just saw in a couple of minutes was great? Allow this course to do this for you every single day. I will show you how to use AI to literally write 5 times faster. You get 150 prompts. I'm trying to make this easy for you. I created a custom GPT. It's called my AI Grant Coach. This coach is in this course. Ask this coach anything you want to about AI and getting grants and what you should write and how you should write it. Is going to tell you. But you've got to be able to feed it some information about your organization. That's why a lot of people buy both courses. They buy the original course so that you can write about your need and your impact and your target population and your programming. And then they feed that information into the AI course. Now, if you have any experience at all writing grants, maybe you have your template and you want to get into this AI. It's $147 for the next 5 days. It's going to be $497 afterwards. It's $147. That's it. I can tell you it is the only AI course on the market. The only AI course on the market that is a full course that gives you a custom GPT that you get to keep, right? This is not just for 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. You get to keep this course. You get to keep the other course forever, forever, forever. All right. 147, normally 497, next 5 days. Now, for the first time only, for those of you don't want to write. You don't want to write your template. You don't want to sit at AI coming up with a template. You don't want to do it. You want it done for you. This is truly out of demand because this is the first time that I've even offered anything like this program. We will write your grant template for you. We're going to write your grant template for you. This is the grant prep package done for you. We're going to write your grant template. We are going to write about your mission and vision, your organizational history, your target population, your statement of need, your program project description, your goals and outcomes, your evaluation plan. We're going to create your list of partnerships. We're going to create your budget and sustainability document. We're going to write about your impact. You're going to have a phenomenal, complete grant template that you're going to use to start applying for grant after grant after grant. And as a bonus, we're going to give you a free executive summary. When you're meeting with organizations, you want to send them an email to say, I want to set up the meeting or introduce yourself, attach your executive summary. That's like the first document that you're going to present to a funder or a foundation about your organization. You need this. We're going to create it for you. This is based on your organization. This is not just a grant template with some blank lines. This is custom to your organization. The template is your template based on your organization. And yes, you get a strategy call with me. And to make sure that you have what you need in the future, we're including a complimentary copy of the AI powered grant accelerator. That's $497. You get it free when you buy the grant package. Now, this is done for you. You're going to get a grant template custom to your organization, an executive summary, and we're giving you the AI powered grant accelerator so that you can take this information and move forward with it. But you're not writing the template, we're writing it for you. All right. All right. Look at Melinda. Melinda last week won $5,000. This is in the midst of people thinking there are no grants. She has a youth mentoring program, $5,000. She said, "Thank you so much, Linda Peavy. I love your courses and learning by applying your methodology." $5,000. Last week, Life Renewed, $7,000. Her first grant. Most of the people that come to my course, they've never written a grant before, and they're getting first time grants, right? She said, "Thanks, Amelia. It was worth the investment." Less than $300. She won 7,000. She won 5,000. Nicola paid less than $300. She won $250,000 in June. She's a for-profit. For those of you who are thinking that for-profits don't get grant money, $250,000. Whitney, $200,000 by following this methodology. They're following the framework that is working for them. Kimberly, 4-page application. Remember, I told you these applications are not long. She said, "Linda, it was the easiest application I had ever written. The easiest." She's a student. She's following the program. $84,000 this year. This is this year when people are thinking there's no grant money. All right. We are done. It's Q&A time. It is Q&A time. Now, I'm going to look for questions, but before you leave, I want you to do one thing for you, not for me, for you. Right now, I believe in manifestation. Into the webinar chat, I want you to put, "I'm ready to get grant money." All of you into the webinar chat. This is for you, not for me. It's the end of the year. Please, you got to be ready in January. Why? Because in January and at the beginning of the year, there are more grants then than there are at any other time of the year because a lot of grants are first come, first serve. So write this for you. You got to get out of the procrastination. You can do this. I want you to be ready in January for you. You got to keep moving forward. Don't be discouraged by what you see on TV. People need you. People need your programming. People need your nonprofit. They need your small business. Look at what is going on around us in this world. You are needed. People need your help. All right. So that's why I want you to write this down. I'm ready to get grant money. Shakira, yes. Angela, Kiera, I'm ready to get grant money. I'm ready to get grant money. So you have the opportunity. If you want to learn how to write grants, get the original grant writing courses, $297. If you want to look at what AI can do for you and write even faster and apply even faster, the AI Accelerator is $147 for the next 5 days. It's going to be $497. Now, if you want us to write for you, you want us to create that grant template for you, we will do it for you. $997. That's a $10,000 value, by the way. That us writing it for you is a $10,000 value for us to write that for you. This is something that I'm offering now. Never even offered it before. $997 done for you. All right. Let me just see if there are any other questions. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let's just see. And then if not, I'm going to wrap it up. Now, make sure you have my email on your email list because you're going to get the replay over the course of the next 5 days. You're going to get the replay. You're also going to get in the email, the replay, but also the link to buy the course. So I hope to see you in the Facebook group. The presentation I'm also live at 7. Melissa, if you could drop the link into the chat for people to sign up at the live session. That's the last session of the year, tonight at 7 o'clock. Anybody that you know that wants to hop on, give them that link. It's in the chat to register for tonight at 7. That's the last one. Let me just see. Wow, that's simple. I had been researching grants for at least 30 days, and it took less than 2 minutes. It took less than 2 minutes. Took less than 2 minutes. All right. And you see, that was just one paragraph, right? I didn't put anything fancy in there, just a paragraph with some data and information about the organization. This does not have to be, it's only complicated if you don't know what to do. And that's why I've spent the last 17 years showing people what to do, right? It's step by step. Both courses are step by step so that you're not lost. And then you come into the Facebook group for questions. I'm in there to help you. I don't see any questions, so I think we are done. The replay will come through the same email. No, the invite to the meeting, you have to sign up for that. I just included the link to sign up to the meeting tonight. That's webinars.grantwriting, women-led webinar. Please click that. That's to sign up for tonight. Excuse me. Tomorrow, I have the last two webinars specifically for Black organizations. Melissa, if you could drop that link into the webinar chat. That's where you register. For the next 3 days, you're going to get emails. Actually, for the next 5 days, you're going to get emails. In the email, you'll have your replay. And you'll have your link to buy the course if you want. For the next 5 days, you're going to get emails to buy the course, and also it will include your replay. So make sure my email, hello@grantwritingfornonwriters, is in your safe senders list, because I just don't want the emails going to spam. All right? Right. The replay, you'll get that every day for the next 5 days. Just wait till you get the email, click the replay, it will be in there. All right. Hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com. And then you'll get a link to buy the course so that you can start off the year right. Please start off the year right. All right. Thank you so much for hopping on. I'm Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals. Thank you so much for being a part of this session and your support all year. And for those of you who waited, because again, I was ill a little bit earlier. So thank you. Whatever you do, ladies, keep moving forward. Don't be discouraged. People need you. Keep moving forward. And hopefully I will see you in the Facebook group this week, because when you join, you're going to get 3 emails. One email will be the link to the Facebook group. And hopefully I will see you in there. All right. Thank you so much. Have a blessed rest of your weekend, a blessed and safe holiday. I don't know what's going on in the world. Be safe, stay safe, have a blessed holiday season, and I wish you nothing but the best. I would be thrilled and honored for you to allow me to help you get this grant money. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.